What is jizya?
Oh,
What?
What is jizya?
What is jizya?
What is jizya?
Why do I think he's disguising his voice or something?
Can
Okay.
I just stop you a second?
Yeah.
You came on right and said, "What is jizya?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
like
now
you
you're
didn't
giving
know
us a
what it was.
lecture on jizya.
So you know
yeah,
what is right?
he's writing a book about Jizya.
Yeah.
Jean-Luc. Bonjour, ça va?
Jean-Luc.
Nous.
Jean-Luc Bou. Bonjour.
What is jizya?
Oh.
What?
What is jizya?
Wa alaikum jizya wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Is that what you've been waiting to say?
I want to say
Looking in the mirror.
Like, do you want to give salam? Do you want to say something? Do you want to like, hey, hi, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Hello.
Jean-Luc, where are you calling from?
I think honestly, I think Jean-Luc has been doing a Robert De Niro like Taxi Driver, looking in the mirror. What is jizya? What is jizya? Go on. What's going on, Jean-Luc? What's the score, man? Why are you so pent up?
what is jizya?
What is jizya?
Why do I think he's disguising his voice or something?
This is trolling. Who are you? Can you introduce yourself? Like, that's who you are?
It's a good question. So basically, jizya is what men of military age would pay in an Islamic state to exempt them from the military. And the Muslims will pay zakat as their tax, and this will be a tax levied on the non-Muslims within the Islamic state. Next question.
But do they have to pay it and they are fully humbled, right?
Do they have to pay it? Do you have
No,
to pay
no.
your taxes? Do you pay your taxes?
No,
You don't
No.
pay taxes.
it's not the same.
Call him.
Do you pay your taxes? Well, look.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, Jean-Luc. I just explained to you what it is. So it is the same. So do you pay your taxes?
This is the jizya, by the way, is a once a year thing,
It
And
exactly
it's significant-
Cameroon.
and it's significantly less than
Cameroon.
what.
And there's a scholar who said
Jean-Luc, do you
we
pay your
can-
taxes, mate?
it's not the same as
Do you pay your
taxes.
taxes? Do you pay your taxes?
Yeah, I
What's
pay
the
taxes.
distinction?
What happens if you don't pay your taxes? Are you subdued?
Of course.
Right. So
Are
what's
you
your problem?
humiliated when you go to jail? If you go to jail for dodging taxes and you get caught, are you humiliated by going to jail?
No.
You're not? So when you go
You don't
to jail,
you don't go to
do you
jail. You
actually
don't pay
enjoy
your
it?
taxes.
5-star hotel.
When you go to jail, do you actually enjoy it?
No.
You don't enjoy it. So what happens to you? How do you feel when you go to jail?
I don't feel anything. I didn't go to jail.
If you don't feel ashamed for going to jail, then you must be a criminal as a career. Your career must be as a criminal then.
But there is a scholar who said they have to pay it, and
You haven't
They
answered
are
my question.
Cameroon.
Do you sincerely
and they
not
have
feel
to
shame for going to jail?
they
Seriously.
have to make a queue, and the one who pays jizya must be standing up, and the one who takes the jizya, the Muslim one, must be sitting. And
Which scholar
sometimes
said that?
Ibn al-Qayyim,
Okay.
Can I just stop you a second?
yeah,
You came on right and said, "What is jizya?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
like
now
you
you're
didn't
giving
know
us a
what it was.
lecture on jizya.
So you know
Yeah,
what
yeah,
is
but-
there, right?
He's writing a book about Jizya.
yeah. I know what is
Can I just,
jizya.
quickly summarize something? I just finished reading the book actually.
Why did you ask us what is jizya?
I think the question should be, why do you think it's wrong to pay jizya? And for
Yeah.
the Muslims pay more zakat in a year, yes,
I
than
don't-
anyone who pays jizya, even if they were multimillionaires. So the
I-
Muslims have to pay a percentage, which is 2.5%, whereas the person who is rich even, they might just pay 1 gold dinar in the
I-
entire year. Now, do you think, wait a minute,
don't.
if you were a Muslim, do you think that would be fair?
I don't think it's wrong.
Oh, you don't think it's wrong? I see. Okay,
No.
so what's the problem then?
I don't like to compare it to taxes.
No,
I
no,
have
that's
to
just
pay
an
it.
analogy. Of-
'Cause-
Obviously,
'cause
taxes
once-
are not the same thing. It's just an analogy that in any country you live, you can't live scot-free. Yeah, you have to pay. So for example, the Muslims, do you know why the Muslims charge jizya? Hamza already gave you the hint at the very beginning. Do you remember why they charge jizya?
Because it's the truth, and they want to convert
No,
other
see, you were
people
not
to the
listening.
truth.
You were not listening, my friend. It
It's
is
not
basically as a hold on.
taxes.
It
It's
is
not like
basically you're
taxes
living in
or
a Muslim
zakat.
land. You're living in a Muslim land, and the Muslims are going to protect you. So they're going to protect your life, your property, your wealth, and you will have certain, what do you say, certain other. In a way, they are something which are exceptions for you as a non-Muslims. So you will be exempted from military duty. Whereas the Muslims, even after paying the zakat, they will still be going to have to do the duty of going into military, conscripted
Let's
in
give
the army.
some examples.
Yeah. So first and foremost, they pay more money compared to the non-Muslims in a Muslim land. Secondly, the Muslims are not exempted even after paying the more zakat, more money in comparison. And third and foremost, the Muslims, even the women have to pay zakat. Yes, but for the non-Muslims, the women are also exempted. The people who are poor, who cannot pay, they are exempted as well. Okay, so please keep things in perspective. The first and foremost reason is because it's a protection, in a way, call it a protection tax, a tax to protect the life and property of the non-Muslims. And they will be allowed to freely to practice their religion, by the way. Yes, so all this comes as a benefit for them. So it's not
Do you mind-
overburdening them.
Let me give an
I
example.
don't really care, because if
You
it
don't
is
really
the
care?
truth,
Why are you asking about it?
if it is the truth, then it is logical to humiliate the people of the book.
You keep saying humiliate.
Yeah.
To push them
He won't be
into.
humiliated for going to the jail
Right.
if the taxman puts him there, or the country's authorities put him there. He said he will not be humiliated for going behind bars. This guy
So,
must be a career.
let me give an
criminal for
example.
saying that.
I'm not objecting the humiliation.
Can I give an example?
I'm actually approving the humiliation.
Yeah, but I'm saying that it's not even about humiliation. So if you take
need
into
to
account,
humiliate them,
can I
so
talk?
they convert,
Can I talk?
and they be saved from the hell.
Can you
It's
no one hear
coherent
me?
with the truth.
Can no one hear me?
Yeah,
we hear
I
you.
can hear. I can hear.
All right. I'm just going to call you Luke. When the Muslims invaded the Byzantine lands, so the Byzantines were a certain kind of Christian, and they were imposing their theology on other kinds of Christians, and they were suppressing saying certain things, and they were getting extremely vindictive about their way, and were becoming quite oppressive to the local Christian populace. Now, when the Muslims invaded those lands, the Christians welcomed it because they would rather have the laws of the Muslims, where they were able to pay the jizya and practice their form of Christianity without oppression. They were free from having to fight in the wars of the Muslims, and they were offered protection from the Byzantine armies. When they invaded, I think it was Damascus or somewhere in Syria, they paid the jizya, same principle. They were allowed to practice their own religion freely. They didn't have to join the Muslim armies, and they were offered protection. Now, when the Muslims couldn't, they had to retreat from the lands. And when they were leaving, they gave the jizya back
This was
to
in
the
Andalusia.
populace. Was it in Andalusia? They gave
This was when basically.
Andalus.
Sorry to interrupt you. So this is when the Muslims had the golden age of Islam in Spain. The 800 years, the Jews flourished there. When the Isabella and Ferdinand came with the massive Catholic armies, the Muslims couldn't resist, and they retreated back into Morocco. Before they left, they give the Jews their jizya back, saying, "We can't protect you anymore."
Yeah.
And the Jews said, "Let us come with you." And so the Jews came with the Muslims back to Morocco. Imagine that.
I think
So
this happened twice. I think because there was another. I'm sure there was another case where this happened as well.
Maybe this was a standard. Yeah, maybe this.
But
was
the point here is that this doesn't follow with the line of thinking that you're putting it forward as, that it is some type of humiliation.
Yeah.
It doesn't frame it like that at all.
It must be to incentivize.
I've just given you examples how it's not. So you can't just say it must be. Respond to what I've said.
You've had your answer. Can you respond?
Like, engage with what's been said to you. How is that a humiliation when it's specifically a tax for protection? They don't have to fight the armies, and it was even giving them freedoms that they didn't have under Christian rulers, despite them also being Christians. They were more happy to be ruled by the Muslims under that particular condition.
Yeah, I agree with this. But
so where's the humiliation?
In a normal case, they should humiliate them so they can pay jizya.
This is what you're saying.
So they can
this is what you're. This is not. Is this Jean-Luc Beau's Islam, or is this Islam's Islam? Like, who cares what you think about what it should be?
No, it's not.
Let's deal with what Islam is putting forward.
Behind it to make them feel as a second-class citizens, so they can convert Islam and be saved from the
if they were considered second class, why would they get protection anyway?
Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me or no?
Yeah.
They could just deport them, from the land.
That is
humiliation. If you
Muslims had to join the armies. Muslims had to go fight.
So first of all, the
people who paid the jizya didn't.
The people that pay jizya, they're called Ahlu Dhimma, the people of Dhimma. This is the term, in Arabic term, Ahlu, people of Dhimma. They means they are under the protection. And Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in hadith says, Man ada dhimmiyan, whoever basically oppress or become an enemy of dhimmi, a person who is under protection of Muslims, adaytuhum al-qiyamah, I will be his enemy in a day of judgment. So the Prophet of Islam is saying that if you oppress a dhimmi who is under your protection, the Prophet of Islam وسلم, will be your enemy in the day of judgment. So the status and the class of the dhimmi is one of the most, if you think about it, one of the most pleasant status you want to be, because first of all, according to Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyya in his book Kitab al-Jizya, which I just finished reading a few months ago, he said that Amr ibn al-As, this is stated in the Mawsu'at al-Aqbat, the encyclopedia of the Coptic. When Amr ibn al-As, Sahabi, went to Egypt, he actually brought people, monks and priests of Egypt, and he told them, you pick the number of the jizya, that the tax that average Egyptian will have to pay without breaking their back. It will be easy for them because of the oppression that the Romans did to you, and it would take a lot of money from you. You pick, you tell me, you know your people better, you pick a number. And that number was picked by Egyptian monks and priests. They said, we believe, Ya Amr ibn al-As, that this number is perfect. Everybody can pay it. And again, like Brother Hamza said in the beginning, men who are at the age of going to the military, women don't pay it, elderly don't pay it, even students are exempt, tax exempt. That's the system that was in Andalus, in Egypt, and in Levant, Islam. So you only pay it, and it's symbolic, and it's nothing compared to what I would, Brother Hamza, Ustad Hashim, Brother Yusuf, would pay have we lived during that time. We would have paid 2.5 or so of zakat, which is, you would literally be paying fraction of a fraction, okay? And would have to go to the army to protect you against the enemy that will come on to harm you. And you get the benefits of going to university, your own courtrooms and libraries, and you get to stay with your mom. She doesn't have to say bye to you, go into the army, and she might lose you. So actually, any Muslim mother would take that deal for her son, not to go to get killed, than anybody else. So actually, it's one of the most beautiful things ever that Islam states.
Can I ride my horse? Can I ride my horse?
Does that answer your question?
Sorry?
Can I ride my horse?
Yeah, you could ride your horse, you could ride a donkey, you could ride the camel. Sure. What's the problem with that?
Otherwise, because Ahlul Dhimma were not permitted to ride horses or travel.
No, you'll have to bring me a specific ruling, where it come from, or specific hadith, and based on the context, whether it was war, whether there were traders that were spotted at the time, and they were trying to fight the Muslims. You have to bring in context, because remember, Islam is not some sort of nirvana type of religion. It's actually a ruling state. So when you apostate, you're actually going against the government, and based on the United States government, if you, for example, collaborate with the Russians, with the Chinese, you're gonna have death penalty instead of Illinois, for example. So you have to treat Islam the same way. If you're in context of war where someone's attacking and there was a specific ruling that was made, that's why you have to discuss that. But you can't make that as a general rule.
I think this was in Jerusalem in
Like
Omar's
I said,
favor.
we're not gonna get into the specifics there, Jean-Luc Boo, but the ruling is clear. If you can bring it, we can discuss it later.
Jean-Luc, what religion do you actually abide by? Are you a Christian, Jew, or you don't believe in any?
I
of
don't
them?
know.
You don't know? Do you believe in God?
I don't know.
You don't know if you believe in God.
That's trolling.
Thank
that
you
it? You're
for
arguing
answering
from-
my answers.
This you're arguing from ignorance.
Have-
Sit down, John. Jean, should I say? Jean. I did all my beautiful
Jean-Luc-
French for you as
Jean-Luc.
well, and you're probably Indian.
Jean-Claude.